Good morning, everybody. Myself, Dr. Ishwant M.K., working as an associate professor in the Department of Civil Engineering, MIT, Mysore. Today, here I am to discuss about the course on green building, which is an elementary course in the engineering, which we are going to teach from our Department of Civil Engineering. Next, so I think in the module number 1, module number 2 and module number 3 in the green buildings, we have been discussed regarding the various materials in order to meet the green aspects, and in the module number 2, we have been discussed the various techniques adopted to meet the green, or I can say the green environment or a green buildings. And in module number 3, what are the causes, that is the global warming issues, okay, and what are the critical issues, okay, all these things we have been discussed in module number 1, module number 2 and module number 3. Now, moving on to the next module, that is module number 4. Module number 4, the module number 4 deals with green building rating system. The module number 4 deals with green building rating system. Green building rating system. Okay. So, in this particular module, I am going to teach you, okay, how to rate the building, or how we can say the building has attained the green aspects, or how to assess whether this particular building is reaching the green aspects or attaining the green aspects or not. So that we are going to discuss. So that's why, so in this particular context, what are all the things we are going to discuss? So coming to the contents of this module, I will introduce, okay, what exactly, or what is the green building rating system and how we need to attain this. All these things I am going to do in the introduction. Next, I am going to discuss the various assessments. Okay, that means what are all the rating systems, or what are all the rating system or assessment systems are there in order to assess the green buildings. So that I am going to discuss with respect to Indian context and also with respect to the global context. So both I am going to discuss. Next, after this, I am going to discuss regarding the very important aspect, green architecture. That means if I want to meet the green aspects or green environment in the building, or if I want to accommodate these principles in the green buildings or in the building, how I need to manipulate, how I need to modify my building in order to meet the green aspects or sustainable aspects. Is it clear? So these are the contents I am going to discuss in the module number 4, that is green building rating system. So let us go one by one. So first, let me start with the introductory part, okay, as I stated. So let me go with the introduction. For 4.1, okay, module number 4, the first topic, introduction. Hope you know that these days there is a lot of urbanization is happening. That means, hope you know that the more amount of construction is happening, rapid urbanization is happening, okay. Because of this, okay, I can say the construction aspects is also increasing. The construction aspects is also increasing, am I right? Because the village people are now moving to the urban. Because of this movement, okay, they need a basic need, that is shelter. Okay, if they want a shelter, that means the construction aspects is also increasing. That is one thing. Another thing is infrastructure wise. So now, because of this rapid urbanization, the infrastructure is also getting expanded. For example, if I take an example of Bangalore, earlier days, okay, you think of how exactly the Bangalore was. Okay, there was no metro, there was no increase in the area of a boundary, or I can say the Bangalore. Now you can see all these has been increased. The metro has come, the flyovers has come, okay, the area has been increased. Why? Because of this more urbanization and more movement of people from one place to another place. Is it clear? Okay, because of this rapid urbanization, okay, the construction is also increasing. The construction is also increasing. Okay, so in this particular course, I am going to concentrate only on the buildings. I am not talking about the infrastructure and all, because mainly we are discussing, as my course name itself says, it is a green building. Okay, I don't want to talk about infrastructure, I will talk more about building. So now coming to the building sector. So now, as I told, because of the rapid urbanization, okay, the building sector, I can say, a building sector is growing rapidly because of this urbanization. The building are increasing day by day. The more construction is happening. Okay, so this building sector is increasing rapidly. Because of this, it is contributing immensely to the growth of economy also. It has increasing the growth of economy also. Because of this rapid increase in building sector, okay, or rapid construction activities with context with the building, the economy of a country, okay, is also increasing. So that is I can say, the good perspective or a positive point. Okay. Now, so what I can say, this augurs well to the country. This augurs well to the country. And not only to this, there is an, what I can say, immense need to introduce the green aspects, I can say, the green concepts and techniques. The green concepts and techniques. That means, due to the building sector, which is leading immensely to the growth of economy, and which in turn this augurs the wellness of a country, and okay, we need to contribute now, okay, more towards the green concept and the techniques. Then only we can attain the concept of green buildings. We need to inculcate, we need to impart the green materials or the green concepts and the techniques in the construction aspects. Then only we can attain the green buildings. Is it clear? Next, okay, so if we incorporate this green concept and the techniques in the construction aspects, the main agenda is this will attain the sustainable environment, or I can say manner. So if I adopt this green concept and the techniques in the building, okay, then automatically I can attain the sustainable environment or sustainable manner. So all these things are positive things. Okay, because of increase in building sector, the construction activity is also increasing. Because of this increase in construction activities or a building, okay, it will lead immensely to the growth of economy. This will augurs the wellness of a country, which contributes, that means I need to contribute more upon the green concept and the techniques, okay, which will attain the sustainable environment. Is it clear? Next. So now, what green concepts and techniques, okay, I need to talk about, let me see. So, now these green concepts and techniques, I need to address the more national issues. The green concepts and techniques, that is, I need to address a national issues. The national issues, what are the national issues? That is, water efficiency, energy efficiency. Is it clear? Okay, so these are the national issues I need to address. Not only this, the very important thing is reduction of fossil fuels, okay, and handling the waste, and conserving the natural resources. So these are the national issues, okay, I need to address, okay, in order to attain this green concept and the techniques, finally to meet the green building. Is it clear? Okay, so water efficiency, energy efficiency, reduction of fossil fuel, okay, handling of waste and conserving. What exactly? All these things we'll be discussing in the rating system. Just I will brief out. Water efficiency is the major crisis now because, see, in our home, how effectively or how efficiently we are using the water. And household, how exactly or how efficiently is using the water. For example, for bathing purpose, cooking purpose, washing purpose, okay, for cleaning purpose, we are using the water. So how effectively or efficiently we are using this water, so that plays a role with respect to the national issues. We should not waste a water because the water is a precious thing we need to preserve for our future. Is it clear? So efficiently using the water is one of the green concept and the technique we need to inculcate or adopt, okay, in order to attain the green building. Next, coming to energy efficiency. So energy efficiency. So coming to energy efficiency, okay, for example, I will take a small example. Okay, let me, if I'm in our household, okay, we used to switch on the light, fans and all. Am I right? Okay, so by switching on the light unnecessarily, it will be waste of energy. Simply we are waste of energy. So how effectively you are converting those? That means what I'm trying to say that nowadays, hope you know that in order to meet the green aspects, I think they have been discussed in module 1, 2 and 3 and all. Okay, that is especially in module number 3, inculcating or imparting solar energy in the building. That means converting solar energy to the, okay, converting solar energy to the, what I can say, electrical energy. Converting solar energy into electrical energy conversion is one of the important aspects how we can effectively use the energy. Okay, so simply wasting the, okay, by switching on the light, fan, okay, we are consuming the more amount of energy. So that's why how effectively you are preserving the energy, that is very important. That is the another issues we need to preserve it. Next, reduction of fossil fuels. It is a very, 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 very important. So I hope you know that that means when I want to construct a building, I think in module number 1 and 2 they have been discussed, I abundantly need cement, bricks, aggregates and all. Am I right? Okay. So for example, if I take a cement, if I want to construct a building, cement is a basic thing I need. Okay. If I want to produce this cement, I need to burn the fossil fuel, that is coal. The coal is abundantly needed. Okay, so because of this abundant demand of coal, okay, what I can say, the natural resources is also spoiling. So that's why can't we reduce this fossil fuel? Why can't we reduce this fossil fuel? Why can't we come up with alternatives? Nowadays, okay, hope you know that we have come up with a lot of alternatives to the cement. Okay, so that have been discussed in the module number 1 and 2. Okay, so that is replacing the cement with fly ash, replacing the cement with some other thing, that is GGBS. Okay, so nowadays these are the practices they have been using in the manufacturing of cement to preserve, to reduce the fossil fuel or to reduce the carbon content. Okay. Next, handling waste. This is a very important criteria, very, very important. See, in household, we used to generate various types of waste. Various types of waste. I think we can say, usually common language, we used to say dry waste and wet waste. But technically we say that, okay, we generate the waste in bathrooms, we generate the waste in kitchens, okay, we generate the waste in other areas. Okay, so we used to segregate the things, that is sewage, sillage and garbage. Okay, whatever the waste released from the bathroom, we used to call it as the sewage. Okay, and the kitchen waste will be the other thing, okay, the other waste. We need to segregate the things and we need to dispose it properly. We need to dispose it properly. For example, in the bathroom, okay, there will be wet waste, and also we used to throw the shampoo cover, shampoo bottles, all those things, the soap covers, all those things. So this will automatically, I'm going to throw out in the outside, and this, if there is any plastic content in this, okay, automatically it will sustain for a longer time. So this will lead to the imbalance of environment. Okay, it will damage the environment. So that's why handling of waste is a very, very important. I think nowadays, hope you know that there is a more amount of research is happening converting waste to wealth. Waste to wealth, that is the plastic waste to the useful product. Okay, some other waste, that is what I can, the solid waste, used to call it as solid waste. Okay, the solid waste to the useful product. Okay, like this they used to segregate. I hope you know that in your house also, okay, whoever who comes for collecting the waste used to collect the waste in terms of wet waste and dry waste. Am I right? So that he can use it, I can say reuse it. That is what the 3R principle. I think we are keep on mentioning this from the module number 1. That is reduce, reuse and recycle. So these are the 3R principles we need to follow, the triple triangle or 3R principles we need to follow in order to meet or address the national issues and inculcate the green concepts and techniques. Next is conserving natural resources. That means we need to preserve our nature. We need to preserve our nature. Then only we can showcase that. That is what sustainability. The sustainability, hope you know, it is defined as meeting the present demand without compromising the future. That means, if I talk with respect to the building context, we need to preserve the stones, we need to preserve our river sand, all these things. I hope you know that nowadays in the construction practice they are not using any river sand. Why? They have stopped using? Because it is a natural resources, we need to preserve it. Okay, otherwise it will lead to the imbalance of environment. Likewise, we need to preserve the hilly areas, that means the stones. If we keep on doing the quarrying process, okay, completely we are, okay, spoiling the environment. So all these things we need to think of and preserve. So these are the various national issues we need to think of, address it. We need to address it means we need to address with respect to these concepts. Did you get my point? So then only we can attain the green building. Okay, because these are one of the criterias we are going to look, okay, we are going to look in order to assess or rate the green buildings. These are the criteria. Anyway, I am going to discuss during the assessment, but in general, these are the assessments or criterias I am going to look in order to rate the green buildings. Is it clear? Okay. So next the concept is, now let me, with all these things, Now let me define what exactly is green building rating systems or green building ratings. So we need to define that. Okay. So let me go ahead. Green building rating system. Green building rating systems. I used to call it as plural. That is systems because so many systems are there. That's why we call it as systems instead of system. So in the short way, okay, GBRS. Okay, green building rating system. Okay, are typically what exactly it is? Typically third party, okay, voluntary, third party, okay, voluntary and market driven standards. Market driven standards, okay, that measures buildings, because the final aim is we need to measure the building, because only we are talking with respect to building, not any other structure. Okay, buildings, sustainability level by buildings sustainability level by multi-criteria assessment. Multi-criteria assessment and encourage the, it is a very lengthy definition, and encourage the adoption of the three triangles which you have discussed in the previous section or previous module, that is sustainability, the adoption of environmentally, socially and economically, okay, because these are the triple triangle. Okay, I think in sustainability we need to think of this, that is environment, okay, social and economical. So all these three, it is called triple triangle. So when we want to attain the sustainable environment, we need to look these three aspects. Okay. So in social and economical, sustainable practices, okay, where sustainable practice? In, okay, the design, during the design, okay, next in the construction, okay, and there is no end for this, and also maintenance of building. Okay, so this definition I have been picked from, okay, one of the famous, okay, the person, okay, who has done the research, Leah Marchi and et al. Okay, Leah Marchi et al. Okay, other persons, okay, from the journal paper MDPI. Okay, I have been picked the very fantastic definition which I can explain very well. Okay, so you can see here the green building rating systems are typically third party, that means the client, the contractor, okay, will be there. Okay, apart from these two persons, so the third party, for example, okay, one who construct the building will be called the contractor. Okay, one who going to, that means going to construct the building, that will be called as the owner. Okay, and the other person who is going to evaluate the building. That means whether this contractor has done it properly or not. That means the owner will call the third person. That means me. Okay, he is not going to call a contractor. So in order to certify the building constructed by the contractor, okay, so I am the third party. That is what the third party. Voluntary. Okay, so voluntary, that means, okay, voluntarily. And market driven. Market driven standards means, okay, we have got a certain standards. How to assess? That I am going to explain, okay, in the various types of assessment techniques. Okay, so market driven standards, okay, voluntary standards, okay, and the third party. Okay, that, so this third party, voluntary and market driven standards that measures building sustainability level. That measures what? So all these standards I am going to use what? To use what? To measure the building sustainability level. Okay, the building sustainability means meeting the present demand without compromising the future. That is what sustainability level. By multi-criteria assessment. That's what I have been told. Multi-criteria. Multi-criteria means, I think in the previous topic I have been discussed what is multi-criteria. Okay, multi-criteria means I have been told water efficiency, energy efficiency. Did you get my point? Okay, fossil fuels. Okay, so all these things. Okay, sometimes they are going to use in a single attribute, that is water, okay, and also the energy, and sometimes we go with a multi-level. That means apart from water efficiency, energy efficiency, okay, how much natural resources you have been conserved, okay, then how much fossil fuel have been used, okay, how effective you are handling the waste. Okay, so all this, that is called multi-criteria. So all those things are criteria. Water efficiency, energy efficiency. Okay, whatever the assessment I am going to do, whatever the rating system I am going to do for the green building, so that is what the criteria. Okay, so this criteria for various assessment system, the different criteria will be there, which I am going to talk about it. Okay, and encourage the adoption of, okay, environmentally, socially and economically sustainable practices. That's what I have been told. One is, I am measuring the sustainability level in terms of whether this building contributing, how effectively with respect to environmentally, how effective with respect to socially, how with respect to economically. Did you get my point? So these are the sustainable practices. Okay, how this green building contributing, that is what the levels, sustainability levels. Okay, that is environmentally, socially, okay, economically, sustainably, okay, the socially, economically sustainable practices, okay, in terms of multi-criteria assessment, okay, in the green buildings. Did you get my point? And this I will assess from the inception. That is, not only design, actually the thing is, we are going to rate the building, okay, how exactly you have been planned the building. That means, for example, if I am going to construct the building, how much sunlight and air that you accommodate inside the building so that the user or the occupants can comfortably live inside the building. So that is what the very important criteria, that is planning. Orientation of your building. The orientation of your building is very, very important. I think in this orientation, design, architecture, anyway, I am going to discuss in this module, and also you are going to discuss some of the things in module number 5 also. Is it clear? So the planning stage itself, or from the inception itself, we need to orient our building, or we need to plan the building in such a way that, okay, that will contribute more towards environmentally, socially, economically sustainable levels. Okay, I told a small example, orientation. That means how effectively the sunlight, the fresh air that can come inside. Otherwise, for example, you constructed the building, you are not allowed the natural light and natural air to pass inside the building. You don't have a space. That means you are not provided a proper windows and all. What happens? So automatically I feel suffocate inside. What I am going to do? I am going to conserve energy. I am going to switch on the fan. I am going to switch on the light. Did you get my point? Okay, so these are the things. Okay, we need to concentrate on that. Planning, orientation of your building. Next, design. So the same thing. The design means orientation. Not only that is with respect to orientation, with respect to material wise, if I talk, I think in module number 1 and module number 2 you have been studied fantastically. What is the techniques of construction, what is the materials we need to use or we need to accommodate in the techniques that are in the design aspect. That is use of a rat trap bond wall, that is use of cavity walls, okay, providing the skylights or filler slab roofs. Okay, by doing all these techniques, I can say that, okay, we can manipulate the things. Likewise, construction, the same thing. That is constructing with the eco-friendly material. That means that you have been came to know in the module number 1 and 2. That is use of stabilized mud blocks in the wall. Okay, use of less cement in the construction aspects. Okay, use of less concrete. Did you get my point? Okay, so we need to manipulate in such a way that you can consume a lesser amount of natural resources. That is what the construction aspects. And then finally, see, the green building is not going to end in the planning stage or in the design stage. Okay, fine. I have been manipulated my building, I have designed the building, I have been constructed with a rat trap bond wall, filler slab roof, everything. Okay, my job is over. No. Okay, the green building aspects will not end over there. The green building aspects will continue during the maintenance. This is a very, very, very important stage. Hope you know that. I think in energy levels in module number 3 they have been discussed. Embodied energy, how much energy you are consuming. That means, if I want to quote an example, I will repeat this. Okay, see, we are consuming the energy in the building more during the maintenance rather than design and construction. This is a very interesting scenario. See, we are consuming or utilizing the more energy during the maintenance as compared to the design and construction. Design and construction. I can quote 70% I can say in maintenance. In 30% I can say in construction. So that's why operation and maintenance is very, very, very example. How? I will just take a small example. See, that's what I have been told. See, if you accommodate or properly plan or design the building, okay, in such a way that, as I told, natural light, natural air, so that it can pass inside the building and go in other way, constructing with a proper, eco-friendly material, then the operation and maintenance cost will bring down or will reduce. If you didn't do the proper orientation or design, and if you go with a more amount of concrete, more amount of high density materials, then occupants will not feel comfort inside the building. Automatically the maintenance and operation cost will increase. How? Switching on the light, switching on the fan, switching on the ACs. Did you get my point? So that's why we need to modify the building. I hope you know in the module number 5 you are going to learn about this. One of the concept called trombe wall. I think in Western countries they are following this technique. Trombe wall practices. What is this trombe wall? the trombe walls is the two glass facades. The trombe wall is the two glass facades, the two glass panels. Okay, they are going to accommodate, okay, and they are going to orient the building in such a way that the very fantastic thing I will tell you, the sun will, okay, allow the rays to pass. Thus, whatever the rays comes from the sun, that will be collected in these glass facades. Okay, that means I am going to orient the building in such a way that the natural sunlight will become during the daytime, and automatically then at the other side, okay, when the sun sets, okay, by collecting those, okay, the solar energy, I can operate inside the, okay, houses or building with the, so that means conversion of solar energy into electrical energy effectively. That is one thing. And also in the Western countries, they subjected to a building called freezing and thawing condition. That means completely it will go up to minus 40 degree, 20 degree or something like that. So what they are going to do in this condition, they need to switch on the heater inside the building. So in order to avoid this, okay, what they can do is, okay, they can orient the building to collect the solar energy, and so that can release the solar energy during the night time. So by this we can bring down the operation and maintenance cost. So this is what the way. See, all these levels I need to, okay, assess, and then I need to rate. So this is what multi-level assessment system, multi-level criteria assessment system, or multi-criteria assessment system. Everything I need to look. Okay, how they have been planned, how they have been designed, what are the material have been used in construction, okay, whether they are consuming the natural energy or whether they are using, okay, the lights and fans during the daytime also. All these things I need to assess in order to rate the green buildings. So this is what the definition, this is a fantastic definition I have been picked from Leah Marchi et al. From the MDPI, a very good journal. They have been defined very beautifully. There's so many definitions are there. So either way it is one and the same. It is a one and the same. So I will repeat, the green building rating systems are typically third party. This is the people which they are going to assess, voluntary and market driven. That means India has got certain standards, US has got certain standards, UK has got certain standards. So based on that driven standards, okay, I am going to measure the building's sustainability level. How? By multi-level criteria assessments or multi-criteria assessment, that is water, energy, fossil fuels and all, and encourage the adoption. See, assessment is not only just judging, we can also give some ideas to the people. See, we can do like this, you can do like this. Okay, that's what is called adoption. Encouraging the adoption of environmentally, socially and economically. See, economically, you can see if you adopt these techniques, automatically your operation and maintenance cost will also bring down. That is what economically. Okay, sustainable practices where design, construction and maintenance of buildings. So this is with respect to the green building rating system definition. Hope you understood what exactly I am going to do. Did you get my point? Okay. So now we will move on to the other aspects. So these are very lengthy definitions, but the concept is, hope it is clean and clear. So this certification system, okay, what I have been told will be broadened in such a way that this will consider the whole project itself. This will consider the whole project, okay, not as a product, a complete building. A complete building, I am going to do the certification, okay. Next, that means the performance level, okay, how this building is performing, all those things I am going to do the assessments. And the next thing is this green building rating and what I can say rating system, it is an integrated design approach. It is a very important thing. Integrated design approach. This is another way I can define. This is the another way I can define the green building rating system integrating design approach. Okay, design, I can say, not approach, I can say process. That is a very good word we can use. Integrated design process, okay, to create projects, projects that are, project means building, okay, that are environmentally responsible. See, once again the word came. Environmentally responsible and okay, resource efficient Now the very important word I will use, throughout its building life cycle. Throughout its building life cycle. Okay, what is that life cycle? From, once again the same, planning to design, one and the same. Next, construction, okay, operation, see once again the same terminology I am using, maintenance. So I have been stopped, okay, at this terminology, but not only this, not only maintenance, the one more word will come here, renovation and demolition. Okay, so now let me define. So the green building rating system is an integrated design process. It is an approach or process to create projects, or I can say the green buildings, that are environmentally responsible, one and the same. Okay, so I have been defining the previous also. Environmentally responsible and resource efficient. That means it functions effectively, water, energy. That is what resource efficient. Okay, throughout its building life cycle. This is a very important. What is that life cycle? What is the life cycle of a building? It starts from planning, then design, then construction, then operation, then maintenance. Not only this, the end of the life, that means the end of the life of a building, that is renovation and demolition also. That is what a life cycle. It starts from planning, okay, ends at demolition. So till that stage, okay, this building should be environmentally responsible and resource efficient. Okay, now I have been told about the planning, design, construction, operation, everything. How exactly it will contribute with respect to renovation and demolition. See, for example, if I am going to demolish this building or if I want to renovate this building, I need to use a lesser energy, that is the first thing. Okay, how I can recover that material and I can reuse that material for next stage of construction. Okay, and how effectively I can demolish that building, okay, without damaging the neighborhood. Did you get my point? So that means it will not create any harm to the, okay, other buildings or to the environment. That is what environmentally responsible. Okay, and how effectively you are going to demolish the building. So that will also contribute to the rating system. That is what the complete life cycle, starting with the planning up to the demolition stage. So this is another definition. Usually I think in I can say the Indian Green Building Council, that is IGBC, which I am going to discuss, will also states the same thing. Okay, that is the green building rating system on certification system requires, or it is integrated design process to create a projects or a building that are environmentally responsible and resource efficient throughout its building life cycle, from planning to design, construction, operation, maintenance, renovation and demolition. So it is a complete life cycle. So what we have understood now here is, I am going to do the assessment or rate the system or do the certification system to the green building from the inception, that is from the planning up to the demolition. So this is what the principle I need to follow in the rating system. Did you get my point? This is another way of defining. Next thing, is, okay, that's what I've been told, one concept, that is they used to say single attribute certification system, single attribute, okay, and also multi-level attribute, okay, or multi-attribute system. I can say multi-attribute system. Okay, what is single attribute system? That means I am going to do the performance evaluation of a green building or certification based upon the one attribute. That one attribute is, okay, water or energy, any one. That is water efficiency or energy efficiency. That is what single attribute. That is assessment levels. Assessment level. Multi-attribute means addressing various issues. That's what water efficiency, okay, energy efficiency, addressing the toxicity also. The toxicity, okay, the waste management, the use of fossil fuels, okay, the what I can say, the emissions from the building, okay, emissions from the building, okay, environmental performance. So all these things are multi-level assessment. That means it is one and the same. That is, okay, waste management, water efficiency, energy efficiency, how effectively are managing the waste. All those things are multi-attributes and single. That means attribute means the levels. Okay, for example, if I am going to assess the building, what is the attribute I am going to look? Okay, first, this building, how effectively they are using, whether they are using properly, and how they are, okay, discharging this waste, okay, what they are going to do after discharging, okay, whether doing this with the proper procedure or not, okay, coming to that, like this, these are the levels I am going to discuss, or energy. So all these things I am going to discuss in the, okay, next, that is in the assessment levels I am going to teach you, okay. Next thing is, see now I am talking about the buildings and all, okay. If I am going to classify the green building rating systems, okay, the green building rating system, I am going to do the assessment, for both the peoples. That means, generalized I will say, in the next class I will say, okay, in the technical way. Residential, okay, residential buildings, okay, and also commercial buildings. Residential buildings, that means the assessment level or rating system level for residential building and rating system for commercial, it will be entirely different. It will be entirely, because whatever the principles they will be using, that means, for example, in the waste management principle, commercial building will be different, okay, residential building, because the occupants will be, okay, or the whatever the persons who is living inside the building will be different, because here in the commercial buildings, okay, whatever the people used to come will be more, okay, and in coming to the residential building, the occupants are very less, okay. Based on that, okay, the certification level or system or rating system will also vary. Next, and coming to the principles, okay, what are the principles I need to look? What are the principles I need to look in order to do the rating system? What are the principles I need to follow when I am going to do the assessment system? Means, what are the rating system? So number one, science-based. Number one, science-based. Science-based. What is the meaning of science-based? So, whatever the results and discussions that have been obtained from the assessment, that must be reproducible. That must be reproducible by others using same standards. That is what science-based. Whatever the results and discussion that will be obtained will be reproducible by others using the same standard. That is what science-based. That we have a set of standards. I've been told now, market-driven standards, voluntary standards, that is what the science-based. Next thing is, it should be transparent. It should be transparent. Whatever the assessment I am going to do, okay, whatever the standard or process for awarding the building I am going to follow, that should be transparent. Okay, I should not hide anything. Okay, that is what transparency. Next, objective. Objective. Okay, what is the meaning of objective? Objective means I should have a proper aim. I should not have any conflict. The certified body or certification body should not have any conflict. I know my objective, what I should do. That is what the principle I need to follow. That is what the objective. Next, it should be progressive. Okay, there should not be any end in the rating system. It should be progressive. What is the meaning of progressive? That means that standard should be advanced industry practices. Okay, whatever the standards I am going to adopt or inculcate should be, okay, industry standards, okay, or practices. Simply rewarding the building will not serve the purpose. Simply rewarding, that's what I have been told in the definition. Encouraging the adoption. Encouraging the adoption. We need to say, see, this is what the wrong you did. You need to adopt this way so that you can attain or you can get more points on this. Like that, you can score more marks on this building. So that is what the progressive way. We need to educate them also. Okay. So these are the 4 principles I need to, okay, follow, okay, during the rating system of green buildings. Okay. So this is what the introductory part which I wanted to discuss in this particular session, okay, in the green building rating system. Hope the concept has been clarified. Okay, hope there is no doubts on this. Okay, feel free to discuss if you have any doubts. In the next session, we are going to start with the various rating system, or what are the multi-criteria assessment system. For example, India, what is the multi-criteria? US, what is the multi-criteria? Okay, UK, what is the multi-criteria? Various countries will follow various assessment because in the worldwide context, all, okay, the assessment system will not be same. It will be different. Okay, so all those assessment systems we are going to discuss in the next session. Hope I have been made you understand what exactly is the rating system in this introductory class. Thank you for listening.